all the previous videos under the indices section, I've taken you up to here. So perhaps you could press pause and write down all of these formulas here. Um, you, these two are simple. Okay, it's just these three that are slightly strange. So with this one here, this one here, if you have x to the power of 3 times x to the power of 4, well, then you would just add these two. So x to the power of 7. With this one, if you have x to the power of, let's say 7 over x to the power of 3, well, that becomes x to the power of 4. Okay, these two are easy. This one is really useful. This one here is strange, but it's quite useful. If you have something like x to the power of 3, and then you power it again, that it's quite hard to visualize this. So what you do, you imagine x to the power of 3 being stuck in a bubble here, and then you times by itself 4 times. So you times by itself 4 times. So it's like this. I've explained all of these before. So if you don't understand, then scroll back some of the earlier videos. So here, this one here is basically x to the power of 6. This merge these two. That's also x to the power of 6. And then you merge the two together. So that gives you x to the power of 12. Now, if you look at this, x to the power of 3, then you times the 4. Okay, so when you have a to the power of b, basically you get a and then you times b. Okay, this one is actually quite easy to remember. This one, as soon as you see a minus, let's say x to the minus 3, it's hard to understand what to the power of a minus number is. So you would immediately jump to something like this. Okay, so when you see a minus something, jump to this. It's just jump to it. Okay, and this one really it's only two that are strange. This one here and this one here. This one is really useful. So remember this by heart. This one here, well, when you have x to the power, let's say a third, you see a power of a number that's smaller than 1 it's really difficult to understand what's going on. So you break it up. You would jump to this, so this would be to the cube root of x. Okay, if you have x, if you have x to the power of a half, let me write that again neatly. X to the power of a half. That means, well, it means this. You have a 2 here, but the thing is, square root is so common. We just ignore the 2. So without a number here, it means square root. Okay, if you have x to the power, let's say an 8th, then this would mean x to the 8th root. Okay. Well, anyway, the other important thing is to combine these two. So if you get given something like this, x to the let's say 3 over 8. Okay, so again, this thing here is really hard to understand what's going on. If you have a fraction where x over if you have a fraction like a 7, well, the 1's on top, so you can immediately jump to this. Okay, but here you've got 3 over 8. So what you do, you break it up like this. X break it up like for example an 8 to the power of 3. Because when you if you start with this and then you rewrite it as this, in effect you are just getting this number timesing this number here. So these two are actually the same. The beauty of this is that you have an 8th here. So that means x to the root 8th. Okay, and then you power it. So that it's just like you playing around. Okay, don't worry about this too much. I will give you some examples, and then you will see. Okay, so yeah, maybe you can pause the video and write these down. These two are quite easy to remember, so don't worry about it too much. This one here, it's really useful. Okay, this one's easy to remember. As soon as you get a negative, let's say x to the power of minus 5, then immediately jump to this. Oh yeah, this one here. When you get a fraction, when you get a x to the power of a fraction, then well, it's going to be root x to the fifth root here. Okay. It's complicated when you have say a two here. If it's a two here, I haven't shown you yet, but I will show you how to break this up. Maybe you could break it up to something like this. A two here, sorry, or maybe you can break it up as this. Hang on, maybe you can break it up as uh, well. If you have something like this, hang on, let me tidy up. If you have something like this, x to the power of 2 over 5, you could break it up as this, x to the power of a fifth, and then square the whole thing, or you could break it up as x squared, and then to the power of a fifth, because you ultimately will get this times this. Okay, so what this means is x squared, and then you take the fifth root of that. Okay, but don't worry about it too much for the time being. Okay, yeah, this one you've really got to learn this. This is really useful. This one's easy to remember. This one it takes time to accept. Okay, so yeah, press pause and write this down. Write all these down somewhere. And in the next video, I will give you some examples like working this out. Okay, in the next video.